Alright, guys. Good morning slash afternoon. Alright, we're going to be talking about the severe weather potential for today. And I want to start out by looking at the widespread radar here across the Ohio Valley. You can see we had this line of storms kind of go off in our northern counties and a little bit to the north. And this line of storms is what's going to lay out an outflow boundary, and that's going to kind of retreat northward as a warm front later today. And I think where that warm front sets up is where we're going to have the greatest chance of seeing severe weather. Now, the tornado threat isn't astronomically high today, and I don't think that we're going to see several tornadoes or anything like that, but I think a couple of tornadoes are definitely in the cards, especially right along that warm frontal boundary. But the main thing that I'm concerned about is large hail for today, and that's something that I'm really starting to become concerned about. You can see visible satellite. We have clouds kind of clearing St. Louis pretty clear. We have some high clouds hanging around, but for the most part, we're seeing a lot of breaks in the clouds here behind this line, and that's going to act to further destabilize the atmosphere. Some of the models are showing CAPE values getting up around 3,000, maybe a little bit higher than that. That's moderate level CAPE. That's plenty of CAPE to support severe thunderstorms. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as instability. Let's look at the current instability, and you can see we're at about 1,000 from I-64 south joules per kilogram of CAPE right now, 500 reaching into some of our northern counties. You can see this is the boundary, though, back in Missouri, where you see that tighter gradient of values there. That's where that boundary is kind of sitting right now, kind of waiting to see where that sets up. Right now, it looks like Monroe County, Randolph County, Perry County area, maybe southern St. Clair County. Is kind of where the boundary is setting up right now. And according to the latest high-resolution models, you can see it does fire up one lone supercell here. And this would be definitely concerning if this were to happen, and especially concerning if it were to attach itself to that outflow boundary that has been left behind by those morning storms. So one lone supercell there you can see moving, as far as this model is concerned, moving toward Monroe County, parts of Randolph County, maybe into Perry County later. We're going to be live. We're going to be chasing these. So I think right now our thoughts are that we're going to start heading to the west here after we finish this live stream and kind of set up in that Randolph County area. And this doesn't mean that this is a tornado here, guys. This would definitely be capable of large hail, maybe even very large hail. We could see hail up to the size of baseballs or grapefruits with some of these cells today. And that's really my number one concern, followed by if these storms can attach themselves to the boundary, we could see a couple of tornadoes. And there's a very conditional threat that we could see a strong tornado out of this, but I'm not completely sold on that. There's a lot of uncertainties within the forecast where a lot of things would have to come together just right for that to happen, but definitely have a way today to get warnings. We will be one way for you to get warnings. We'll be live today with radar and live storm chasing, so that's one way you can get warnings, but also have multiple ways. Have your phone with you that has emergency alerts on it, and have a weather radio if you can get one of those. And also local news. We'll have severe weather coverage, hopefully. So have multiple ways, guys, to get warnings today, because there will be storms, and a couple of them will become severe and intense. Large hail, some damaging wind is also possible with these, and of course that conditional tornado threat. So you're going to want to be aware of the weather today. We'll probably have a tornado watch out by 2-3 o'clock, and we will probably be live as soon as these storms start to cross into Illinois. So we will continue to monitor this situation. Right now the boundary looks like it's setting up kind of in that Monroe, St. Clair, Randolph, Washington County, Perry County, Jefferson County, Franklin County, Wayne County, Hamilton County area, kind of along that corridor, but that doesn't mean that that's exactly where it's going to set up. We'll continue to watch the models. And, excuse me, again, we're going to be heading west after this live to set up in probably Randolph County and wait for these storms to develop. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And these storms are going to be firing up, guys. Steven asks what time. They will be firing up. This model in particular has this storm around 3 p.m. on the Mississippi River. So probably watch that 2, 3, 4 p.m. time frame for storms to start. And then they will continue through the late afternoon and evening hours across southern Illinois. And again, these storms will be capable of all hazards, including very large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes. Somebody asked Fayette County. Fayette County is in the risk area. I won't rule anybody out for this, but that boundary does look like it's setting up mostly for that Monroe, Randolph, St. Clair, Washington, maybe Clinton, Perry, Jefferson, Franklin County area right now. And there's going to be more storms to the north that will pose a threat for all hazards as well. But that's just kind of the target area that I'm looking at for storm chasing and probably the best potential for a few tornadoes. So if you live in those areas that I just said, definitely be weather aware, but be weather aware everywhere in the viewing area today because there's going to be widespread severe thunderstorms, I think, today during the afternoon and evening. The cap is not strong. There was a cap earlier, but it's already starting to break. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And yes, St. Clair County, guys, yeah, it is included. Tonight in Edwards County, yes, there will be a chance for severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center has the entire area in the 5% tornado risk, so let's go ahead and I will show you guys that. The latest from the Storm Prediction Center, which this outlook was just issued 30 minutes ago. So here's the tornado risk outlook. Might take a second. But this is the tornado risk. And you can see, I'm going to go down a little bit there and go back to the west. And you can see the whole entire area is under the 5%. There is a 10% down in Missouri, and they considered upgrading our area, but I think it's better to hold off on that for now, just because there's still a lot of uncertainties as to whether or not there will be a chance of a strong tornado. I'm not completely ruling it out, and I don't think the Storm Prediction Center is either, but there's a lot of uncertainty as to that. So I think we'll have to kind of watch what happens with this boundary, and then in a couple of hours we'll definitely have a better idea. There'll be a new outlook issued at 3 o'clock, and if they are going to issue a higher tornado probability, it will be at 3 o'clock. So that's the tornado risk. Let's go ahead and look at the hail risk as well. This is from the Storm Prediction Center, and you can see they have a hatched hail risk, so that would mean that there's a chance for hail upwards of 2 inches in diameter. I think we could see baseballs today, guys. Very large hail is my number one concern with these storms, and that would include, of course, kind of that Monroe, Randolph County area that I was talking about, as well as St. Clair, up through Clinton, Washington. But you know where that supercell was painted earlier on the models, and the wind threat is 15%. I'll go ahead and show that as well. Not as high with the damaging wind threat, but I do think that will increase as the night goes on as far as the damaging wind, and you can see they have that a little bit further east because of that. And I think as the night goes on, these storms will congeal more into a line complex, and the damaging wind threat will go up, especially east of Interstate 57. So if you're in like along the Wabash River, White County, Edwards, Wabash, up toward Lawrenceville, Olney, those areas, I think that's a higher wind threat than to the west. If you're along the Mississippi River, you're looking at more of a hail and possibly a few tornadoes. So thank you guys for joining. We're going to go ahead and start packing up and head west. We will be live today, so please join that live stream. We'll be covering with live radar, and as well we'll be storm chasing, so you guys will be able to see the storms as well as have them covered on radar. So we have you covered today, guys. Stay tuned, and I hope you guys have a good day today. But we're about to start headed west, and again, thank you guys for joining.